Happy Easter to everyone. We really thank God that God has blessed us the Holy Week. And it's great to celebrate today, Easter. May God really bless each one of you, speak to you, and help you to understand and have resurrection faith in our life. A couple of years back, I visited this Garden of Gethsemane where Jesus prayed before he died. And I visited Golgotha where he was crucified, and I visited his tomb where he was buried and raised from there. It really gave me a great knowledge, enhanced my spirit and enhanced my knowledge of Bible. When I see all those things, I really want to give this message. When we read 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 20, but Jesus has indeed been raised from the dead, the first fruit of those who have fallen asleep. When we explain about this, Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection was all part of God's redemption. God's plan for redemption. So the blessing that was stolen in the Garden of Eden, God wants to restore back for each one of us. Therefore, we need to have a learning mind. We need to believe it. We need to act on it and speak for that. In the first point, I want to tell you that activate the resurrection power inside you, inside me. When we read Philippians chapter 3 verse 10, I want to know Christ and experience the mighty power that raised him from the dead. Paul really want to know the resurrection power. Today, do you want to know the resurrection power? Do you really want to experience like Paul? If you say yes, then we need to have a learning mind. We need to learn it. We need to have a receptive mind. We need to have this resurrection power inside us so that we may be able to see and learn it. Because there is no Christianity without cross and resurrection. In the second point, live life of faith through resurrection power. In Revelation chapter 1 verse 18, it says, I am he who lives and was dead, and behold, I am alive evermore, forevermore. Do you really trust this? Do you really believe in this? Do you really have faith on this? There are many people in the world who doesn't believe this. They have this sunk theory, hallucination theory, stolen theory, fraud theory, spawn theory. Even the disciples, when Jesus was died, all his followers and disciples couldn't believe that he will rise again. But when they learned the empty tomb, when they were given the message that Jesus is no more in the tomb, when Jesus visited them again and again in many places, in his 40 days after his resurrection, then they started believing that Jesus really raised from the dead, and they started having faith, and they built up their resurrection faith in Jesus. In the third point, live life through resurrection power. We have to act on it. We have to act on it. Romans chapter 8 verse 11 says, but if the spirit of him that raised up Jesus from the dead dwells in you, he that raised up Christ from the dead shall also quicken your mortal body by his spirit that dwells in you. So now the question is that How do you know that the Spirit that raised Jesus Christ dwells in you? People who accepted the Lord Jesus Christ, they know that the Spirit of the Lord dwells in me. Then we need to act. With resurrection power, people started believing God's command. When they have this resurrection faith, when they clearly know and have this spirit of resurrection, that is Jesus inside them, the disciples started mission walk. Thomas reached to India. Paul of Tarsus planted many churches, and he has written 1/3 of gospel. Christian worship changed to Sunday. All this is because of the power of resurrection. The fourth point, live free with resurrection power. When you have resurrection power, then you are free. In John chapter 8 verse 36, it says that, so if the Son set you free, you will be free indeed. Are you really free indeed? Are you really want to serve the Lord with your talent? This is exactly saying that when you have a free mind, believing that the Lord is with you, those people have God's calling in their life. And when they serve, they are satisfied. When they serve, they have the power. So here it is saying that resurrection power frees you from the bondage of sin. And it also helps us to forget what is behind and help us to look ahead. In Philippians chapter 3 verse 13 says, in the conclusion, I want to say that when we really have resurrection faith, the power of resurrection in us, then we need to learn it, we need to believe it, we need to act on it, and speak freely to many other people. This is not exactly saying that just to have this resurrection faith only on Easter or on Sunday. No. When we really have the spirit of resurrection faith, the power of resurrection, every day we'll have the power, and we will be able to reach out to many other people. May God really bless each one of you. Celebration of this Easter may really give you a great blessing, and it may really help us to overcome all the hindrance in our life, and we may live a life with power with this resurrection faith. May God bless each one of you. Thank you.